Hey y'all, welcome back to Kicking It with K-Rob. It is your host, K-Rob. And today we have you went on the podcast before, okay, a recurring guest. And we have a first time guest. We have Big Sante, Sante's mother, Mr. Glennadia. I said Glennadia.
Yeah.
Because I got it from Nadia. Mm-hmm. So.
It's Glennada.
Sorry, yes, Glennada. And today, we're going to be doing an interesting topic that I'm a little afraid of. It's scary. We're going to be talking about technology. Got me thinking, like, technology. What about technology? Well, we're going to get into it. Okay. Y'all ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. So, my first question to you. Well, I guess we could both answer. We could all answer it. What technologies did you have, like, coming up, growing up?
I would say the telephone in the house. We didn't have a whole bunch of extra technology. We had faxes, which I think is pretty much obsolete right now. Some people still use it, but we have faxes, and I think that was
you scan an email.
extent.
Is that basically the same thing? Scanning something in to somebody?
No, it went through the phone lines. I don't know.
You have a fax number separate.
I never understood
the
technology of it, but it went through the phone line and it sent it. It was kind of just like scanning, but way before. So.
Did y'all have? I mean, I know y'all had radio too. Would you
we
like
radio?
consider radio to be?
Yeah, we had radio and we had computers. But when I think about like computers as they are right now, it's not in comparison because like y'all have immediate access to stuff. We had AOL, which was like dial up, and it took forever to get on and.
You can do two things at the same time, right?
You couldn't talk on the phone at the same time that you were on the computer. So, yeah, that was kind of what I remember about technology.
I remember
growing up.
Yeah, same. We could use the AOL dial-up. That's what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. We couldn't play games and listen to...
You couldn't do multiple things at the same time. Now I can sit on my phone and do like 10 different things.
Somebody said, I wonder who still uses fax machines. Maybe fax machines. Fax machines.
We had one at our job up until last year, and because we hadn't been using it as much, we discontinued it because it was a cost that wasn't necessary. So we were still using it, but it's less and less. I think people still use it for tax purposes, and city offices still use them, but it's going away.
Did you know how to use a typewriter?
Yeah, I learned on I had a typewriting class in high school. She was a cool teacher, and in fact I thought about her this week when I was typing. I was like, I type pretty fast because she taught me how. She was a really good teacher.
Is it the same as typing on the computer? Like, what's the difference? Like, what does it feel like?
It's the same thing. Right?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
You just can't. Do y'all have backspace?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It went back, so like the little clicker thing, the keys would go on, and then. If you did a backspace, it would do autocorrect, which was like whiteout over the number. So the previous letter that you typed, it would just white it out.
I was going to add that for our technology growing up, I remember getting iPods. So like that, I feel like is the biggest transition into tablets and stuff. I was just thinking about how we started having access to all the apps. Like that was the first time we started seeing how phones are today. I feel like that was a pivotal moment. Like just seeing the iPod being created, the first one, and going from there because it was for music, and then you kind of see us being able to use our phones for everything and evolving from that. Apple really changed the game.
Well, actually, the purpose of it, I'm saying CD players, because people had CD players and the CD would skip. I never had one. My sister had several.
I had a portable one. I remember listening. Yes, I had a little CD player and I loved it. And I remember playing. I don't remember what CD I was playing, but regardless, I remember having it and listening to it. But the convenience we have now.
Oh, he just said that portable CD players. That's crazy. I didn't even see that comment.
We had Walkmans. So before the CDs, we had the tape because and it's funny because young people don't remember or have never seen the tape. The tapes where it was like plastic, and I don't know even the technology and how it recorded on there. But so before CDs, we'd sit and listen to the radio station, and depending on the DJ, we would sit and listen to them and listen to their playlist and record. And we'd sit, and for commercials, we hit pause. And then when the commercials came back, when the music came on, we'd hit play so that we record so that we could record the playlist.
Oh,
and so we would sit there for whatever the hour was, and it would take forever to record. So like you could download stuff now, but we would have
you
to
had to
record.
manually do that.
I've heard people say that.
I've
We had
never
to do that
heard
with cell phones, like you know the flip phones. Like if you wanted something to be our ringtone, well, I remember we used to have to record in a car, and then if we wanted that to be our ringtone, like I said, we had to do that. But it's kind of similar, but we didn't. We had radio.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think one of the biggest transitions, I remember I went to college and we had dial-up when I went to school.
Mm-hmm.
And we had dot matrix printers. I don't even know if y'all know what dot matrix. The little printers that have the holes on the side with the paper. And it would zzz, and it would print out the letters as you type as it printed. I went away to college and there were dot matrix, and when I came back from college and my little brother was in high school, he had LaserJet, and I was like, "What is this?" Because we were still using dot matrix in college, and when I got back home, he had no idea the technology that I was using just 2 years before, and so I remember like that being a big transition in the technology.
You had to flip. He said you had to flip the tape for the Walkman.
Yes, so on the other side of they had two sides, and it would record, and you could flip the tape, and you'd have other songs on the other side of the.
Did you have dial-up phones, like where you had to dial it up?
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
The
rotary phones.
I have one in my room. I had got it from Goodwill. I don't know. I think it belonged in the office, and we just cut the strings off of it. And I was going to use it like as an aesthetic for my show, but it's just there. I'm like, I know how to use
it. We had
it.
the rotary phones at my grandma's house. We had a rotary phone,
and they're heavy.
9.
It was heavy.
1, 2, and then
okay, trying to call 911 is probably hard.
Yeah, it was hard.
Because it has to go all the way back, right?
Yep, it has to go all the way back.
One. At least one's right there. So
yep. Who said? Oh, the rotary phone. Yep. Let me see. I'm thinking other technologies we had. I had. Do you remember the DS? I didn't have one.
I did.
I had the touchscreen DS, but I didn't have nothing before that.
It was a Game Boy first, and then this was almost like a flip phone type of thing, and then the DS was just an elongated one. I had I feel like I had every generation. I was definitely blessed. I remember the DSi. We were like instant chatting. We had IM and stuff. You could talk to people in the neighborhood. It was called PictoChat. I remember being obsessed with that. Like you could.
I don't even remember that.
Yes, we were over here like just drawing little pictures to each other.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you sent it.
Yes,
so
I
cool.
remember that. Yeah,
I remember doing that at Victoria House, at my friend's house. We would just be texting before we were texting.
You had the portable DVD player. Did you ever have one like when you travel and them things would scratch?
My papa, his car. That was a big memory. He had it in the back of his thing in the SUV, and I remember fondly like watching movies and stuff when we would go on road trips and stuff. But we don't have them like that.
Yeah, we just had to be bored in the car when we were growing up.
We'll get there. I'm screaming. You know, that's actually crazy, Cuba. That was my next question. He asked me to ask you, have you ever used a beeper? Like, did y'all, like...
That was for rappers.
Beepers were?
Rappers and doctors.
What about pagers?
When I was growing up...
Is that different?
No, that's the same thing. But when I was growing up, like, I was really sheltered in the stuff. I would see beepers on TV, and it was like it was something that rappers carried or doctors carried.
Really?
And so yeah, it wasn't something that I had, and and maybe that was just me.
That don't cost a thing. Christina Milian had the pager, and she was like, "I'm gonna page whatever her boyfriend's name is, so that he knew to call her." You didn't. That's
but no, I didn't have one. So
I thought that was a common thing. You just didn't have one.
Didn't have it.
I was
on shelter. I was on shelter. So.
I remember seeing them. Like I know somebody. I think my dad had a. I don't know if I'm telling his business, but he had like a green transparent looking one. Then it was a black one. I just remember, and it had like 3 buttons on it.
I'm just thinking in my teens. I didn't have one, and I don't recall like my immediate friends having one. I remember seeing it in videos. I remember seeing doctors have them, and the beeper was for them to get. But I mean, I saw them. I just never had them myself.
he said that he's been binge watching Grey's Anatomy, and they have him in Grey's Anatomy.
Yep.
Yeah, doctors. Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you? Oh yeah. If your answer was yes, I was gonna ask you, do you still know how to work them? So I guess I assumed you had one.
So you never touched one or had one?
Yeah, I mean, I've been around them, and I you know.
How did your parents? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What were you about to say?
No, I was gonna say Steven has one, but it doesn't work.
I want to see it. I want to see it. Oh my god, I'm so fascinated.
Let's see the picture.
Yes.
Real life picture.
Yes, like that'd be. Okay, I'm gonna finish this before I forget it. But one day, I just kind of, for communication and social purposes, not real world problems, but I just want technology to come to a halt for like.
It would be nice to pause.
For like maybe 2 days.
I think it would be nice.
People gonna be having withdrawals like
absolutely.
crazy.
They'll lose their minds.
And I'm
but
like,
I think it would be. I think it would be really good because I think that we're so attached to our pieces. Like I find myself having to stop myself from waking up in the morning and starting to scroll.
Yeah.
And I notice it. And I'm like, yo, I gotta put this phone down, and that shouldn't be the first thing I'm thinking about in the morning time to pick up my phone and scroll something.
Yeah.
It's kind of addictive.
It is addictive.
They literally make
it's studies, and
and it's not right. And then I'm just like, it's
it
really not. And if you think about how it's affecting kids,
so many ways it's affecting
crazy.
Kids.
It's crazy.
I don't know. This is an absolute crazy analogy, but do you think it's gonna sound crazy, y'all? So, do you think technology hit our generation how crack hit the 80s?
Yeah. Like for real, like people because as they're doing studies about it, they're seeing how addictive it is, and what was if we had known how addictive it was going to be, I think we would have approached it as parents different, as people different because it came on at one time.
Yeah,
and I remember like having to make the decision about letting Sante use technology when get on internet. In particular, and I was trying to wait until she was like 16, and everybody was pressuring me. No, it's not a big deal. Just use it. My stepmom was like, "Hey, she's fine. You should let her." And I really felt pressured to let her use it, and I wish I still would have stuck to what I wanted to do and keep her because it was exposure to so many things and the addiction aspect of it. I just wish she didn't, she wasn't exposed to it as early as she was. Because I have no idea what she saw. I have no idea what she saw. And I know, she didn't turn out bad, but I know there was stuff that she was exposed to that I probably wouldn't have wanted her to be exposed to. And I wanted to have more control over her.
I think I had my first Facebook account when I was like, I got it kind of late. I never had MySpace. I know friends my age, and my sister had MySpace. I didn't have MySpace. I waited till Facebook came.
MySpace, that was a long time.
I know. I was like maybe 13, 14 when I had my Facebook account. I don't know.
I had mine at like...
It was like 10 years ago.
So I think it was like 5th grade.
5th grade? Yeah, and I was at least trying to get to like middle school, and they were like, "No, she's old enough. It's not a big deal." But I knew some of the dangers that was on there. So
why does anyone need?
Nobody needed that.
At 10 years old, I did not need no Facebook. Everyone and their mama had one. It was very much like a pressuring thing, and it's like I'm thinking about like how I would want to raise my kids. Like, you compare yourself, you're posting about it, you have all these unsolicited, like, sometimes it could be your friends, but nowadays you have the Explore, not only the Explore page, but the algorithm shows you people you don't know, so I can only imagine how it is trying to raise kids in this generation, because that's hard. Like, you already got body dysmorphia, you saw that Khloe Kardashian elicited, legislation about catfishing and about what we post on here. They started they're basically like, do not edit your picture. Like, it's going to be illegal soon to edit your picters too much and kind of false advertisement. We're seeing
I kind of like that idea.
I do stuff too. Like that. Just trying to figure out. I already like the idea of the kids YouTube, because whenever you can't leave the video, so it's not like you can go on comments or find any bad spaces. You're not allowed to comment or read comments. I like, we just need to make some proactive stuff, but on top of it,
we're
you're
behind
right.
in that though, because we're always trying to catch up with the stuff that is on on internet and with technology, and I think legislation is so behind because the people that are making legislation don't even know how to use technology, so then they don't know how to make the legislation to combat all of the destructive things about technology, because it can be used for good, but it is addictive, and it is it exposes people to so many things. So when you have a child and you're like, okay, I know the immediate things that they could be exposed to, but the internet just blows that up exponentially. So I think that we need some younger people to be making laws about it, because we need people that understand it to make laws about it.
Why are you 70, 80 years old
and don't know how to use your texting?
There needs to be
a 90
I don't know how to text.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Much less about internet. They have no idea.
Yeah, I was just thinking, oh my God, I love this topic. Listening to you talk, oh my God, technology. Like, y'all don't listen to podcasts that talk about technology. Y'all listen to them. Okay. We're not gonna, do the basic topics. Okay, different. We're thinking outside the box. Yes. Do y'all remember y'all first cell phone? I remember how and why I got mine. So, it was like around Christmas time, and I was like in 4th grade, and me and my sister, we have we have different dads, and she was like, I bet you won't get a phone for Christmas. I'm like, what's on a bad? And I was like, I bet you I will. So I not even knowing or caring, I knew what a cell phone was, so I was like, I bet you I will. So I called my dad and told him I wanted a phone for Christmas. I didn't think nothing of it, nothing more of it. I'll go down to Louisiana and boom, I get a cell phone.
What type of phone was your first phone?
It was a Samsung flip phone. I don't know what kind it was, but I just know I think it was black. My first one was black. Mm-hmm. It was a black flip phone. It was like kind of sleek and cool for the times. I never had a Razr. I never had a slide phone. And I remember one time I asked my dad for a Sony Ericsson. I don't know if y'all know what that is. It was a Sony Ericsson. I want a Sony Ericsson slide phone. But he got me a Sony Ericsson flip down phone. It was cool because it was orange. And my favorite color was orange. So I was just like, okay, I appreciate, you know my favorite color. I appreciate the out the box thinking because it had orange in it, but I wanted a pink slide up phone. I was just like, okay. But yeah, I never had a slide up phone or a Razr.
That is so crazy. I think I was 25.
Was it the
Nokia?
I don't remember what the name of it was. I remember like I think it was a one of those that you paid for the minutes. Mm-hmm. It might have been. No, it was around that. It was around that time. You had to pay for the minutes, and so I do remember not wanting to talk on the phone until 6:00 because because it charged you before 6:00. So after 6:00, it was free. So most of the time, if somebody called you during the daytime, you'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be so and so, pick me up so and so. I'll talk to you later after 6."
And for AT&T, I remember vividly, it was 9:00, and for like Sprint, it was 7:00.
Why?
Don't know.
It was. I don't know why that was the rule, but that was the rule. You couldn't talk after 6.
Do people still have minutes now? I know
drug dealers.
It's not just drug dealers.
Who else got minutes? Who else got minute phones?
We unlimited. I remember that being kind of rare.
Who got limited minutes these days?
Oh, that is funny.
I don't know nobody who got limited.
That's funny.
A sidekick. He said he's smart. Sidekick. Remember your first phone?
Yes, it was like a.
I remember sidekicks. I do remember sidekicks.
I remember wanting a Razr so bad. I remember being like wanting the Razr like the phone so bad. Mm-hmm. And I remember when that Palm Pilot and the I remember when the BlackBerry came out, but I had the most basic.
I wanted the BlackBerry, but I never
it didn't turn sideways.
So we kind of had the same experience.
I was just
I think I had a Nokia. I'm pretty sure my dad had one.
So.
The coolest one that I remember was my dad had. It was some kind of walkie-talkie thing where he could talk, and he would be my mom would be at the house, and he was like in a whole nother town, and it was I don't remember what it was, but it was like walkie-talkie. And he could hear her in the next town, and I was like, "That is the coolest thing." I don't know what it was called.
They weren't on the phone.
No, it was like it was walkie-talkie ish, and I I just remember thinking that was really
Papa.
cool. It was so long ago.
You think he'd remember?
I don't know. Maybe he would. I'll check with him.
But yeah, I think it was just like a straight talk. I remember playing with your Nokia. That's
I do remember.
I didn't have it. I wanted a Razor so bad. You know that because
I ain't have a Razor. I wasn't buying.
Someone else
screaming.
Someone could buy me a Razor.
Buying her a Razor. I didn't have a Razor.
It was so cool, but no.
Yeah.
It was so basic.
And I was kind of jealous of my cousins or anybody who had one. I was like,
oh my goodness. I was jealous of my, she's like my friend, like big sister. Anisha's phone, she had the coolest phone in middle school. We were all jealous. When I say it was up, and it's, girl, she had all the, it was a slide this way because everyone wanted it to slide like up like this so you can have the keyboard.
Yeah.
We don't even have keyboards anymore, like in the traditional sense.
I do remember briefly playing the Snake on a Nokia.
Yep.
The game Snake.
Mm-hmm. Did someone bring that up?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. How did your parents feel about technology? Did I ask the question?
No.
Like, because I heard that some older people were even scared of TV when it first came out, or like the radio. They were scared of it, like legitimately scared of it.
But they're military, so I feel like
I think that we had a different, like they were open to stuff. They were exposed to stuff in the military too. So they weren't scared of it. They weren't running towards it though. They weren't like, hey, let's go get the newest stuff.
But they GPS. I just thought about the GPS and how like we were talking about maps the other day and just how that was first for military. Just like
it was, but I still don't think it came along until the phone started doing the GPS. So no, we didn't have it like before anybody else or anything like that. Not in our personal lives. So I don't know what they did in the
military when they did at work.
Yeah,
they probably had it.
But until they started like mass doing it on the phone, we didn't really have it.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. Though. I remember when Miss Lena and them had those cool little added features. You can plug into the phone, and it was like you could see what the song was on the radio. It was like really advanced, and we started seeing that transition. That was another thing I was thinking about. GPS, it's technology that's come along.
It is. I had this thought earlier, and it's kind of off topic but on topic. So we all know the song "Computer Love" by Zap. Exactly. So I wonder what.
Because what year was that?
I just
like
don't. He said, I see
like
your face on my computer screen.
Yeah, that's
like, could it be your face?
Like, how did he know that?
Like,
how did he know that?
I think he passed away, but I need to ask somebody who has some insight on that song.
Who worked on that song? Like,
I need to know.
And how did you know?
Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
No, I want to see the lyrics.
But if you think about like movies and stuff, like thinking about technology, like the stuff that we're going through now, we watch stuff like the Jetsons, and we watched TV shows.
Back to the Future?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Back to the Future, and
The Terminator,
and all of that stuff. Somebody was already thinking about this stuff way before the stuff came into fruition. So either they talked to people that were already on the edge of technology and wrote stuff based off of that, or they knew something ahead of time. I don't know. But really, like when we think about the Jetsons and the when I was little, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I can't wait until we have video chats. Not even video chats.
Oh,
like FaceTime. When we were little, that was so far away, and now that we can just call somebody, my brother's in Bangkok, I could call him in Bangkok and just be like, hey, what's up?
Right.
And he's across the world. That's bananas, because I remember a time when we used to think, I can't wait till we could do that. And we thought that was going to be like so far away. And that was in the 80s, 80s and early 90s that we were thinking that. And now that we can do it, I'm just like, that blows me away.
We were like all in different states on basically on Instagram making a face video call.
So my brother was in Baltimore. Yeah. My brother's was in Dubai, and we were here in Savannah.
And then Papa was in Florida.
And my dad was in Florida, and we were all on FaceTime. And I think back to when I was little, and that was so far away.
That's crazy. Cool. I remember my mom, I won't say first started dating, but when she was dating my stepdad, he was stationed in Japan, and she had got a computer camera to talk to him, and I was like, that's just so cool. Like,
yeah, they didn't have the computers.
I'm like, a song, I can't compare no other song like with technology. Maybe I don't know, different genre of songs with computer love. It was like, could it be your face I see on my computer screen? Like,
that was crazy.
I wonder what
Even
year
when
that
thinking
song,
back to it,
can
that
you
was crazy.
See what year that song was made? Because I'm curious. Huh?
I was like, pull it up on. I'll pay it.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, so when we had the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
how much more how quickly did you adapt to the amount of reliance that you had to do on technology?
Well, I had to go to. Did you graduate by then?
When for the
COVID
Right at the
happened in
beginning, she was
2020.
graduating.
oh yeah, that's 2020 was when I couldn't have a physical graduation. Why?
When you graduated?
2020, May 2020.
Oh, in May. Okay, so you had classes.
It was just
still.
shutting. It was
Yeah.
just shutting
Okay.
down.
After
Everything.
spring
Okay,
was shut.
so I'm a mass media major, and I'm like, how am I going to learn how to use a camera, an actual camera? It was made in 1985.
Mhm.
That's crazy, right?
It's crazy.
But we had to use cameras and stuff like that before the pandemic. But my learning took place on an app on my phone.
Yeah.
So then getting back into
Being in person.
Physical.
it was like I was lost because I was a transfer student and the stuff that people had learned previously I didn't learn at all. So I was double down lost when it comes to learning how to use certain programs on the computer, learning how to use certain cameras. I was just lost. And then the teachers came back expecting us to know how to use it. But I'm like, if they don't know how to use this, somebody who did not start this program, definitely don't know how to use X, Y, and Z program, X, Y, and Z computer. It was crazy. But the bonus to that was, I graduated now. I got my degree. We cheated. Cheating was a piece of paper. It was easy. Okay?
Wait,
cheating.
Wait. What?
Cheating.
Allegedly.
Like after she's already got the degree. She's
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I don't know what they could do about it now. But
Listen,
baby.
bro.
Give me that job.
Listen, I learned though. I did learn. It wasn't all cheating. I learned, okay? There's certain things you can't cheat. Y'all know that, right?
Right.
Allegedly, right?
Allegedly.
Exactly. So we didn't have
No, you really can't. Like, professors can see stuff now. So was a graduate assistant. I was just talking to the professor. The technology they have. So now, if you wanted to take your test remotely, even if it's at 10 o'clock, she can go onto her computer and be able to see you taking the test. And she's talking about some, y'all ain't slick. She made a message to them saying, we know you cheating because if you staring at your notes that's on the wall
Yes.
behind the computer and you're like this, she's like, I'm looking
I
at you
see you.
staring. Or
I
if you got something off to the side and you're like, she knows. And I'm just like, I didn't even
they
think about
can
it.
see you.
Yes, they have lockdown browsers and technology. So yeah, they proctor it through these third party.
Through the third party.
Yeah,
stuff.
the
That's
lockdown
crazy.
browser. I hated lockdown
That's
browser.
crazy. I hated it for kids.
Yes.
And I watched high school students and middle school students.
in
'cause
kindergarten.
I
I hated it for the babies.
it was
Yeah.
it was such a
Babies.
stressor, and when you think about how kids learn, some learn okay,
Mm-hmm.
but then some struggled like a
It
lot
was-
trying to just
Mhm.
rely and then the loss of social skills and being in person was kind of crazy.
It was hard because I was working as a substitute teacher. I was basically had an internet cafe type thing situation with the classroom, and basically it was like a daycare turned whatever people needed. Like they needed to drop their kids off because everyone's working remotely, but parents have to go to work themselves. So we had a range of ages from kindergarten to 5th grade in my little classroom, and I'd have to make sure they got on the appropriate Zooms, did their work, and it was just really hard to see, like, first of all, they're getting smarter and smarter, so, like, one of the kids knew how to turn off, make his Wi-Fi not work, like, making it seem like it's technical difficulties, so
smarty pants.
they learned how to cheat, not only that, but learning how to, like, turn off certain features and stuff. I had to go in and figure it out. Like, I'm thinking he on his, in his class, but he over here turning off the Zoom. Turning off the internet, turning off the Zoom, and then, like, seeing those kindergartners not get it, and they have to listen to their. It's just not the same as being interactive and hands on for sure.
Let me tell y'all. So, like I said, I was a mass media major,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess we had to learn how to do group projects. When the pandemic hit, I was in a class, and it was supposed to be before the pandemic. It was supposed to be a group long project.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't changed his mind. He still wanted this to be a group project during the pandemic.
And were y'all able to?
Yes, I remember. It was supposed to be like a filmmaking project. And I'm like,
oh, and you need to record and stuff.
It just didn't make sense. From jump to me, it didn't make sense.
Because we weren't allowed to be back at school.
No, this was 2020. Like 2020 when it happened. Not 2021 when everything shut down. So like there was no contact whatsoever. And I think I remember we got like a 72 or 70 on it, and I was a group leader. And I was just like, that's fine, that's cool, because we didn't know what to do. And I'm just like, how do people understand what's going on? But I was like, whatever.
It was a learning curve for everybody.
I would give you the benefit of the doubt. Because I think I got straight A's that semester, I'm not going to lie.
It was a
bad
year.
I don't know, but in general, like, you should just give everybody an A that semester for sure.
A group project?
Yeah.
That's actually crazy.
He wrong for that, because he knew.
I'm like, maybe we just didn't understand the assignment. Maybe that's what it was.
Give me a curve.
I'm like, whatever. At least we passed it. That's all I guess. He told me to hand him my degree.
What's that?
He told me to hand him my degree.
She earned it.
Yeah, I definitely earned it. Okay, I definitely earned it. It was okay. Let's, you know what? Whatever.
We're just gonna move on.
Yeah, we're just gonna move on. We're just gonna move on. Maybe I should ask this early, but did you know anyone who had like those big phones in the car? I briefly remember. Like,
that was for rich people. That we didn't
in
have.
The movies.
No, in the movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I really didn't know anybody that had the big ones.
Big ones in the
car. It was later on when my dad got like the phone, like the walkie-talkie. I can't remember what that talkie did, but that was really cool because it was a cell phone kind of, but it was long reaching. Cool.
He said it still takes skills to cheat. Exactly.
It does.
It does.
It does.
Yeah. You have to know what not to, how not to get caught. You know,
exactly.
You're smart enough to do that, though. Come on now.
I didn't have, when people said they had to start doing lockdown browsers, I was like, I don't know what that's about. When teachers had to control their, I'm like,
like right now with the Chat GPT and all of the AI stuff. What do y'all think about the AI stuff?
It's creepy. Like, I was going to say, that's why at the beginning of this episode, I said it's creepy. Technology creeps me out. Like, even though I'm a mass media major, it creeps me out. I don't know how to explain it. I remember when iPhones first got the buttons. Y'all remember the world went crazy. Oh, they got our fingerprint. They want our DNA. They already got it, babes. With the whole the GPS. They're already tracking. Like,
they already know where you are.
Exactly. So stop. They was like, well, we're going to get implants. Remember they thought they was going to get implants.
They could tell me what I did last year.
Exactly.
At 3:00 p.m. and it shows reminders of this is where you were last year at 3:00 p.m. And I'm like, why are you keeping track of that? Can you please?
Especially if I'm not trying to remember. We know.
And then I always tell like my Instagram audience, I always bring technology back to the movie iRobot. I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie with Will Smith. It's been a long time, but that movie was, I just know now is very telling, and it's called iRobot. What are the chances? iPhone, like, and they're white robots.
It was on purpose.
Yes, and what other movie? Oh, Smart House. I always bring the Disney movie up.
Yes. Smart House was so cool but creepy. It was so freaking cool.
I don't see how people trust technology. And people who
not getting no Smart House.
Oh my god!
But even cool when you think about the phones, because
we're slowly getting there.
Because it's recording you and it's
listening
to you. So when people were having the conspiracy theories of they're listening to us, and they actually are though. When I mention something and then an hour later the advertisement for the same thing I mentioned is coming up on my phone, I'm like,
trying to figure out how I go in that.
And so I'm going in now, like shutting down my privacy filters and all of my privacy things and the settings and stuff, because I get the algorithms and trying to be tailored to me, but I don't want you listening to my stuff.
It's all to sell you something, though. It goes back to capitalism. This is our phones and everything is literally walking advertisement. You see that we're getting back to like Netflix and stuff. Even when they weren't having commercials, there was still things and ways that they're trying to advertise to you.
That's a whole nother scam. Like, I got away from cable and went to streaming, and now all of a sudden y'all are giving me commercials again. I don't want to see commercials.
It's the fact that it's like you have to buy so many different streaming services. It's the bundle of a cable.
Which is the same thing as cable.
Say it with me. Capitalism.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
We can say it together. 1, 2, 3.
Capitalism. That's what it is.
That's a clip. That's a clip.
That That is definitely one.
But it's crazy to think about. But Smart House, I do think that they was cool until she started acting a little crazy because
she lost her mind. Yeah, I kind of remember that movie.
I feel like that's Siri and Google. Like that, and the unlocking, you can change the temperature.
That's AI because as AI starts happening, and they start learning things, I'm like,
yes,
what is the day they gonna
freaking
flip
out?
out? That's what I'm like.
I'm freaking out now because we have a stove, and there's you can connect to the Wi-Fi, and you can turn it on before you get home.
No,
that's weird. Because what if it malfunctions and then? Okay, but
how about you just wait till you get to the house?
So we're talking about this now. I'm thinking about automation in general because that's just another field. So we seeing like jobs, thousands. I just was reading with the message yesterday for tutoring with the kids. 70,000 plus jobs are being replaced by automation. We have the self-checkout.
Like the cars.
You have not only self-checkout at Walmart, you have it everywhere.
Self-checkout pisses me off. I don't know about anybody else, but it pisses me off because I'm like, no, I want to check out with a person. Because one, can I get a discount? And stop checking my my receipt at the door. Because if you trust me to check myself out, then you trust me to walk out the door.
That's
get out of here with that.
What happened today when we went to Olive Garden? She said, "Oh, you can order your appetizers here."
Oh,
that's your job.
What did I say?
She said, "I want a person." You said
that's your job.
I want a person.
She was great. She was a great waitress.
She was a great waitress, but
the appetizers, I get their life. So you go ahead and send it to the.
No, you come to the desk and ask me what I want. Come to the table.
So it's just crazy to think of how we're going that far. So. This is a conversation that was brought up even when I'm not saying he was running Andrew Yang. He was talking about automation and universal basic income. But the biggest thing is that we keep trying to make these jobs come back. We keep talking about the auto industry and how we have factories and stuff. We don't even need people in those factories. And honestly, it's not always the safest conditions. So we're seeing quicker ways to make things, but in the same time, how are people sustaining their lives? So we already have to uphold and overhaul the system we already have to make it sustainable for everybody. Because if we can't work these labor-intensive jobs, we need to start investing more into people so they can do jobs that you can't. Like the arts, people, literally the AI cannot do the arts for real. They're like showing scripts and showing people trying to replace writers. Those are not comprehensive stories. Like
no, it's not.
But do you think that they're gonna, because AI learns?
It's not going to be the same.
It's still not. They say you can't because they don't get the nuances when it comes to the arts. It's like human nature or like something as subtle as like an experience. You can't always describe feelings. So like the AI, until we have a really smart person who writes that, which is it could be possible. But it's like, what do we do?
I look at the art and the stuff that it's creating. And
girl, them hands are ridiculous. Have you looked at the hands? They have the AI.
But some of the art
cool.
that's being created is discouraging for people that actually have creativity. Because I'm looking at the art that it produces, and I'm like, man, you got to compete with a computer that can generate it in seconds, as opposed to you took 3 months to do a labor-intensive, thoughtful piece. And from your spirit and your soul that you put it onto a canvas, and then this thing put it out in 20 seconds.
Yeah,
and that's
sad.
So
disheartening.
It's really sad.
I saw a few weeks ago. I saw this girl. She hopped in a car. I don't know if it was a Tesla or not, but she hopped in a car and started driving by herself, and she was in the back seat. I'm like, y'all crazy. Y'all are crazy.
Until it malfunctions.
Y'all are crazy.
That was the plot.
Y'all are crazy.
Like, how did you stop it?
That was the plot of one of the movies. I saw it crashed.
Another TikTok a few weeks back, whatever. And this girl, I think she was in California, of course, California, ahead of everybody. She was under like this machine getting her eyelashes done by technology.
Oh, no.
Eyelashes done, and she was laying down, like you went through like a machine, and she was getting eyelashes done.
No, ma'am.
And she was black. And she was black. I was like, okay.
She's like, we don't do that.
We don't do that. We don't do that. Y'all know that. We don't do that.
We did it before it happened, so I don't.
We gotta draw the line somewhere.
Crash test dummies. We don't do that.
And there was a black girl who got in a car by herself too. And I'm like, oh my god.
We losing the recipe.
Thank you. That's what we're losing the recipes.
But
Like,
it's
girl.
like she said, everything came so quickly.
It's
so
very
fast.
fast.
It's adapting so fast.
Because as soon as they said, "Hey, we got AI. AI is coming. AI is coming." They said it's coming, and then all of a sudden it's here. And not only is it here, they already have programs that exist that are like, "Oh, by the way, you can do letters. Oh, by the way, you can do lesson plans." Because I'm looking at the TikToks, and they're like, "This is the easy way to do lesson plans for class. This is the easy way to do da 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 da." And I'm like, who's been working on these programs? Because all of a sudden, you have all of the programs ready, and y'all just told me it was coming. Like, I don't.
Because they was making
crazy.
it in the meanwhile. They was waiting for their time to come.
It's crazy.
Speaking of lesson plans, how do y'all feel about iPad kids? Like technology and basically the younger
the kids. They are way too.
We have been doing it for years though, and even before iPads, because they put kids in front of TVs like decades ago. Like in the 90s,
I didn't even think about that.
In the 90s, they put kids in front of TV. So it's a byproduct of busy parents and not understanding that interaction with your parents is more important than getting them out of the way and keeping them busy.
I don't know why I never thought about that. So like, do you think we're all right then? Like, I don't know. I don't feel like
possibly.
Did
you watch a lot of like?
I was outside as a kid. I was outside. And Nickelodeon said, "Get outside for that one day."
Not outside because I didn't let her go outside.
I was outside in the neighborhood. Why she laughing? Because I was definitely running the kids in the neighborhood. Remember?
Were you?
Yes, and I had.
I didn't trust neighbors. I didn't trust. Like I was in we were in an apartment complex, and I was like, I don't know my neighbors. It was a decent apartment complex, but
it felt like a little.
It's so many.
There's a lot of different.
I was the opposite. Well, I don't know. I guess my mom, she just had trust in the world. Thankfully, nothing happened to me, and I'm here. But she let me run, not in a bad way. She knew, like even in our apartment complex, she knew like who I was with. But, like I would be outside, like just outside.
She went. I think I trusted it more when we linked up with a family that she caught the bus to their house, and I was cool with them being paired up. But by herself, I was
middle
sketched.
school. I'm talking about back. I was thinking about back in Florida. That's why.
Oh, Florida was different. Florida was.
That's what I'm saying. I was thinking about when I was running them. You're right.
But
I was definitely inside here in Georgia.
As long as she could hear my voice, and I called her every like 30 minutes or so, and I was like, Sante, if you can't hear my voice, then you're too far away. So that was different. I'm talking about here.
Definitely, you're right.
I didn't know none of the people in that part.
You're right.
We didn't.
So I was definitely like.
But she didn't sit in front. But you didn't sit in front of the TV. I don't think.
I've read a lot.
She read a lot.
And
so she
I
wasn't
did play Pokemon. I did play my video games a little bit.
But it wasn't so much internet.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of TV. But
maybe that's the
I
difference.
do see a connection. I think from the parents that got sat in front of the TV, they were comfortable in setting their kids in front of iPads.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's like, again, another product of capitalism because people, two-parent households,
got to work. And
they got to work,
time.
and then when they get home,
they're cooking and they're tired, and they put you in front of TV.
Yeah.
Or in front
Have
of
y'all seen Black Mirror?
A little bit. I'm trying to get into it more. I've seen a couple of.
Don't watch.
What's it about?
It's about life now, basically, but like an exaggerated, almost
exaggerated. Black Mirror. Your phone, your screen.
That's what it's called. Yes, that's what
it's
called.
I didn't get it until a couple years ago.
Why you give it to her right away? She's so, No.
Yeah. I still
but
watch
somebody
it.
told me that.
I still watch it.
Yeah, don't watch like the second or third episode. I heard somebody told me watch every episode, but the second they said don't watch it. It's like absolutely weird.
They are weird.
Is that the one with the pig?
That's the first episode.
She said everybody said don't watch it. Don't watch the first episode.
That's what set me off of why I didn't watch it a couple years ago.
Exactly.
I watched that and I was like,
this ain't for me.
Yeah, it was so weird.
And they don't correlate. The episodes, kind of, but
it's very much an anthology. It's just like, it doesn't correlate at all. Like, it'll be random, like, makes you think about technology in different types of society. So, like, the first episode, it was basically trying to push you to see how far you would go for, like, to save somebody, and like screens. Everyone wanted to watch this humiliating thing. There was like everyone's eyes were on this humiliating thing, and it was just about like us in consumption. Everyone just like wanted to watch. It was like millions of people, billions of people watching this man.
Black What's it called?
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
She said
Black screen.
Black
I'm screaming. But yeah, that show like kind of like I heard the new season wasn't that good though. But the other ones are just like kind of mind blowing.
They are.
Just, like,
I watched at least like 5 so far. It makes me think of Twilight Zone. It's very much like Twilight
Oh,
Zone.
Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love Chuck.
I like to watch them.
Okay, what is the question? Oh, do you remember like the first pivotal moment where you was like, "This is where our technology has like changed"? Like, you took a step back and was like, "Yeah, this is funny."
I think I mentioned it before. It was in college when I went away and then I came back, and me and my brother were in 2 different spaces in technology. It was like, because he was in high school and I was in college. When I moved away, we were in one space, and I know that I missed something. I was like, he was getting on the internet in a way that I hadn't, and I was like, I don't know what you're doing. Right, and I was older, but he started going down the road and with technology that I hadn't been exposed to. And even I went to FAMU and we weren't advanced yet either. So we were still basic, and he was already moving into the next phase of technology. I'm trying to think another pivotal moment. I think like AI right now is the noticeable change right now, and it's like it's gonna go fast, and people are not even prepared.
No,
we are not prepared for it. They didn't prepare us for AI and what AI is about to do. No.
I think for me, I guess I had this app on my iPad, but I think it was, I remember the Talking Tom, the cat. Talking
Tom.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was so creepy. I remember that rumor.
Yes, that's it was like with pedophiles, something like they were hacking like some kids' accounts or something like that.
Basically trying to say someone was like
talking
the
to the
screen.
kids.
Mm-hmm.
No, basically that someone was watching you at the same time.
Yeah.
The kids. So
it was on the news. I think I
turned it
I
on.
think that was true. And then my friend at the time, her little sister had the app, and then it had like a girl version of the app too. I don't remember the girl version, but at first it was cool.
Angela.
At first it was cool, and I was like, okay, it talks back. Oh, maybe I'm on to something. And I was like, okay, maybe that was the first step into voice recognition. Talking Tom.
Yeah, because it did repeat everything
exactly. It did. And then another one was, like I said, the fingerprint with the iPhone, and somebody mentioned the FaceTime. Not the FaceTime,
Android,
but
because Android ain't taking my fingerprint.
The Face ID to unlock the phone. I was like, I'm not. Everybody said we're not
Android
doing that.
Don't do that either.
I miss my finger.
Yes, they do. They have apps.
I'm just playing.
Oh my God, they do it. But because they said, well, I'm not gonna get sued by Apple, so I'm gonna shut up.
I'm team Android.
So what you looking up at?
Angela and
Talking Tom, the rumor or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, Yeah, that was like the first creepy moment I remember as a kid. Was like,
I think it was just
I don't think it was.
It's basically
they probably, but
it's
as we're going on with just the internet and in general, and then like the voice recognition and the algorithms and stuff, I think that was early versions of that, because it's doing it now. Like it creeps me out when I'm like, oh, such and such tool at work, and I'm researching it at work, and then all of a sudden all the stuff pops up on my feed, and I'm like, how in the world did you know that? And for a long time we didn't question it. We thought, that's a coincidence, and then we start getting studies back, and it was like, no, they're really listening to y'all. And it was like, wait,
we agreed to it, because
and you don't nobody
who reads them long contracts. Nobody
reads the agreements. Nobody reads the agreement.
We agreed to it. Nobody does.
Maybe lawyers.
I think they get tired of reading. They just click yes on their phone.
I know a couple friends that do.
that read it,
all of the stuff. I think Kimmy would too. They read it. I'll be like, girl, I don't have time, but I should.
Right.
But and then I listen, and then I think back to when they were like, we need to read them, and I'm like, you were right. You were so right.
He said he thought about something one day. Then 4 minutes later, it showed up.
Creepy. It's creepy.
Do you remember like the first one for you?
When technology got into
a pivotal moment when technology changed for you.
I don't know. It's like I could see how it could be a stark difference from her. I feel like we've seen it gradually. I try to think what specifically growing up was just like, wow. I get impressed by everything though. Like even mics in the TV remote, something as simple as you're literally like, do that. Play Talking Tom or play something and it'll pop up. So little stuff like that. I think I really liked. I saw a pivotal moment was with the Nook. I had a Nook in middle school. It was like I saw that being the intro into tablets. Because it went from me having my little Nook, and I remember Kindle having the Kindle Fire, and then it went from being for reading to being basically for games, for tablets, miniaturized computers. So I think that was like a big moment because I loved my my Nook because I would be reading books. It looked like a page and stuff.
I'm not a fan of those. I don't like. I like touching them.
Yeah, she did too.
I'm a touch.
That's why
I can't
get into. I liked my Nook because it looked like a screen, but I didn't have too many books on it. I just always bought a book or something.
That's funny because as you're talking about books, I think about the technology that I use the most now, and it's probably my audiobooks. And audiobook, even though I used to be able to check out like CDs at the library and stuff like that, but the audiobook has been a great way because I'm not going to read the physical. I don't have time. I don't have the attention span. But audio, I can read. I can listen to a book for 4 hours and complete a book, and I feel so accomplished because I knew I wasn't going to read it.
Do you feel like you retain?
I do because I actually sometimes I will take notes depending on the book and then what I'm trying to learn from the book.
Have y'all read or heard of the book Fahrenheit 451?
457.
451.
I've heard of it, but I don't.
Was that a classic?
I don't know about. I guess because we had to learn it in school. I think it was the temperature that paper burned at or something like that, and then there was a message for books being no longer
obsolete. No, I didn't.
Was it book burning because of censorship or because
I think so. I read it what grade? Maybe 10th grade, somewhere in high school. I read it. And of course, at the time, I didn't pay attention to the book for real. But looking back, I'm like, that actually might be a good book to go back and
learn you something.
I don't like when they force us to read books.
I feel like that's a good thing to go back and.
You think it's forced?
At school, we have to be quizzed and tested on it. Finish this page by this day. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What I liked about the
Do you think you don't see any advantage to them giving you books to
forced to read? No.
I
like reading now on my own.
But what about the kids that don't? And that they need the opportunity to.
I mean, I'm not saying reading not beneficial, but I'm just saying. I don't know. It was a lot of pressure.
Just a lot of pressure.
Especially if you weren't interested in the book. Like, everybody has to read the same book. Like, everybody's not going to be interested in the same topic. Like, you know.
I think it's for comprehension because I was just thinking about some of the kids that got tutoring, like teaching you how to get through a book even if you don't like it and understand the points of the book.
Because that's what these folks are missing, comprehension.
Oh, speaking of comprehension, my next question is, do y'all feel like technology has ruined communication?
Yes. And comprehension, definitely. Because these people, you could say, I like pancakes. Oh, so you hate waffles? Like, it could be simple things. No one is... It ruined it, but it also helps, like we've said before, about like talking to someone across the country, across the world. It's made it so much smaller and then more accessible. It makes it possible.
It's more accessible, but it's dumber. Like when you text, like how you talk without any kind of correction, it sounds dumb. And if you I have seen people begin to write how they text and how they talk.
Yeah, I heard
and
a
so
lot of
communication has broken down in a way that you're not prepared when you graduate from high school to go out into college and to go out into the world to communicate effectively. And I think that technology has allowed people to dumb it down. You know, all of the acronyms and the abbreviations to say what we used to say in full words, and I think it's messed up communication.
I think some of my friends they be using abbreviations. I'm like, why are you abbreviating that?
That was three letters.
Like the word, I forgot. My friend, I'm not gonna call you out, but I'm like, why are we abbreviating?
You know who you are, though.
Exactly. Why are we abbreviating the word? Let me see. For example. It was a person. I'm not gonna say the person name. So let's say the word. Okay, this is one that's dumb, but it's kids, they use as hell, like, you know, dumb as hell. Excuse my French. They use, you know, dumb as hell.
Oh, ASL?
ASL. I'm like,
so much. I didn't know what it ASL. ASL. That's the country's way to ASL. I didn't know. First of all, that's American Sign Language. Someone else had that first. How dare you? I was so confused. I'm like, American Sign Language. First of all, you can't just be co-oping acronyms.
I'm like, where's that?
It's like they're trying to be smarter than. But it sounds dumb.
We're not talking about you.
It sounds dumb. We're not talking about anybody in particular, but
that wasn't the word though. But like the word
okay.
remember or something like that, like RMB. Why are we?
Yeah.
We might as well go ahead and go back to flip phones.
Right on my phone.
Go back to flip phones.
On my phone,
you know,
I have the thing where I can do the slide. Do the to spell out the word. I'm not understanding why that's quicker than just to do remember.
Yes,
because I do, and exactly. You don't even have to touch it. You can just do remember.
Right. I don't know how to work that because we have that on iPhones.
I love it.
I don't know how to work that. But I just like I said, go back to flip phones.
Communication has definitely suffered.
Go back to what?
Flip phones, because you know on flip phones we had to use like love you too, LY2. Love you too. Might as well go ahead and start going back to that.
You saying what you doing, where you at? First of all,
exactly.
Where are you?
But one of
that's fine.
I just realized it though. I be saying it all the time. I'd be like, "Where you at?" WYA, and it's like we just.
Or I say LOL, but I got that from my
Be
friend.
right back.
BRB, exactly. That's kind of okay, but I just don't think it needs to go no further than what it already is.
When it already is, you making stupid acronyms. Like
yes,
stop.
Exactly. It's that what I have a problem with. Exactly.
No, but the communication part also is like I can go to a restaurant and look around at the tables and the communication that is like everybody sitting there. Everybody like is in their phone. Everybody is in the phone. Like you look at a whole family, and every single person in the family is on their phone. And
us earlier.
We don't have talking.
Down.
We don't have talking
I'm
anymore.
on my phone. Don't look at me, cause they're texting about our plans.
She know how I am about what is the word?
Put it down.
Being present.
Be present. Mm-hmm. Be present. And I think that we need to. We definitely need to implement a be present kind of attitude when it comes to technology, because technology takes over the entire family.
Yes,
you're sitting at a table and you're supposed to be rehashing your day and talking about, you know, how you doing today and checking in with each other, and you can't even do that because you're so engrossed in your phone, and it's messed up just in present communication.
And I don't like at restaurants. I understand it, but I don't like it whenever they have iPads or phones in front of the kids. I don't like that.
Like I get it for the sense of kids are hard, and if you throw a
loud
in here,
what did y'all do back then? What? Like raising whenever we went out to eat, like with kids.
We talked.
We talked about with kids. Like how did you control the kids? Because you know,
said shut up and be.
Let's say a 2-year-old.
Don't act up. You could control a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Stop acting up. Sit down.
I think people are embarrassed by the noises.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Kids.
So what would you do?
I meant in the sense of like if there's a kid being whiny, you just if you're in the restaurant you shouldn't be embarrassed. They're gonna be kids.
Your mama said sit down.
Sit down.
I'm not saying you should control the kids. I'm just saying you should have grace for the family who has all those kids.
I have grace for the family, but
sit down.
Tell your child to sit down.
And take the iPad. Like I said, I understand it, but I just don't really agree with that. I'm like, maybe it's because I don't know the struggle of having a kid. I don't know.
You don't agree with what part? Putting a phone or something in front of the kid. I agree, because you need to teach them how to be in public, and that's why I say sit down. It's not that a 2-year-old is not going to do some stuff. As a 2-year-old, but I was watching. We were at a restaurant or something the other day, and the little girl was like climbing on her dad's like back. So we were at the birthday party, and the little kid that was the table behind y'all. So you didn't see them.
Really?
The little girl was just like climbing over the dad's back. Like I said, tell her, but just sit down. And I just like the lack of instruction on. There is a time and a place to do that. When you're at home, you can jump all over the place. But at the table or in public, sit your butt down somewhere. Just sit your butt down somewhere.
Yeah.
This is, we're in a public place. Sit down. It's not, free range is in the playground, at home, but when you're in public places, sit your down somewhere.
Because when they get all jittery and stuff, people do put like phones in front of the kids. Because I've definitely seen that, like when we were at church and
that's a crutch.
and they had the one.
When we're at church, that bothers me too. Because I'm like, let me go sleep or something. Just put your phone down. Like one little boy. Like, every once in a while, somebody forgets to turn the volume down. And it's like a game that's just, like, loud in church. Yes. And you're like, wait a minute. Why is he playing the game anyway? Tell his little butt to pay attention. Even if he's young, you know, get some attention span. Get some attention span.
Yeah.
Speaking of... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to say, speaking of church, I didn't really like also when they took the tangible Bibles and replaced them with iPads. Like, going back to the book thing, I'm like... That's weird.
Right. So I gotta teach Sunday at church for middle school, and the young lady that's gonna help me. That's what I told her. I was like, right before class, we're gonna go to where the Bible closet is and go get physical Bibles, because we are so reliant on technology that we don't know. Because what I think that where that messes up is, you know, you can look up a scripture, but with a physical Bible, you're able to open it up, look at the scriptures before, look at the scriptures after, and have context around a scripture, and it's not just isolated to that one scripture. You get a idea of what the whole thing meant, rather than just pulling one thought out of it. So I agree with that totally.
And also with adults, though, I don't do this because things been on ear kind of irritate me if I'm not listening to nothing. But I see people out in public at restaurants at the most craziest places with an AirPod in their ear. And I'm like...
At work?
What are you...
My FedEx driver?
You don't put that in your ear?
I'm like, bruh.
Take that... We're at a nice dinner. Why you got the iPod? And why just...
I lost one of them. I haven't worn them in weeks now because...
Like, how do you not... I don't know.
I need them at work. I'm not gonna lie. The noise, the client, you know.
Okay, but that's understandable. Do you forget that it's in your ear, or you just
sometimes? And sometimes it's like it's convenient. It feels like the Bluetooth back in the day. Like it'll tell me in my ear if my phone. I'm not on my phone. It's all the way in the back. It's like Mama's calling you or so and so is calling me. So it is convenient for that. Like when I'm doing something, I definitely love my AirPods for like being immersed when I'm trying to study or focus. But yeah, definitely taking it. I've noticed like there was a point where I just keep it in my ear and be like, okay, that's not even comfortable. It's not good for you to have it in your ear that long. But yeah,
I just when I've seen that adults, I'm like, why you got that in your ear? Like with your family, you got that in your ear. Unless I think it's subconscious.
Be engaged.
Exactly.
Just be engaged.
Exactly. Teach your kids and you be engaged.
How do y'all feel about having like 24 access to technology?
You think it should be shut off at a certain time?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Good Lord.
Can you imagine? Kind of like how
I can imagine, because when I was young, like you couldn't call people's houses after 8 o'clock. Like my mom was like, okay, phone is off. Nobody calls us. You don't call anybody because that's disturbing people at their house after hours. So we had a window of time between school and like 8 o'clock to call your friends, talk about whatever. You better get it out, because either you talk to them at school or you talk to them in those couple hours, and that was it. And like right now, technology has so much access to us, like emails. I'm like, first of all, if I work from 8 to 4, why do you expect that I'm going to be looking at my emails anytime after 4 o'clock? And we've set ourselves up in this society to be
24/7,
and it sets us up not to get rest, not to just be able to be with our family and be present. And 24 hours, and then you get to work in the morning, like, did you see the email? Why would I see the email? Because I went home. But it's an expectation that these people have of us, and I'm like, I push back. I'm like, I don't want to check my emails. I don't want to.
I just thought about something that triggered me when I did an internship. He was like, well, y'all need to check y'all emails 24/7. I can email you at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Was it a paid internship? You tell them kick rocks. Kick rocks.
I'll tell you about that after.
Kick rocks. Because it bothers me because it's like intrusive into, you're paying me from 8 to 4, and there are some jobs where there's a little bit extra that you do, but
like if
we
you're on
need
call,
to be able to set
Mm-hmm.
healthy boundaries with the people that we work with in jobs where you're not paying me 24 hours a day, and it's unfair for you to encroach upon my personal time with my family or whatever. I don't even have to have a family. I could just be me and just. You shouldn't be able to encroach upon my personal time if you're not paying for my personal time.
Right.
And that's 46-year-old me saying, looking back, I just think that it's unfair for jobs to just assume that you're going to be accessible 24 hours a day. And that includes with people. Because setting healthy boundaries between people as well, we need rest. And this society, how it is set up with technology right now, sets us up to think that we have to be accessible to even our friends all the time. And it doesn't allow for us to shut down and replenish and renew ourselves. And I think that that's one thing that my generation needs to tell y'all's generation a little bit more, is to take care of yourselves and to know what the boundaries need to be.
Oh, I'm a night owl, and I just have problems with going to sleep. So, like, technology being shut off, maybe that'll put me to sleep.
Yeah,
well, no, because I've always had that issue. Like, even growing up.
You wonder why you have that issue, though? Because you've had it set you up. It set you up. Do you think that you get enough sleep?
Not at appropriate times, but I'm gonna get my sleep.
Right. At appropriate time. Like, so, are there boundaries that do you think that you set the appropriate boundaries
to get sleep?
Just in general, like, does it work for you? So I that's assuming that it works for you. You know what I'm saying? But when you're looking at setting up your life with the technology, does it work for you? And if it doesn't, why doesn't it work? Are you setting up the boundaries that need to be set up?
No, because I'm on TikTok until I fall asleep.
Right.
But like when I was little, I wasn't in my phone like that when internet and stuff like that. I don't know. I just always stayed up late.
But it goes back to what we talked about at the very beginning, was the addictiveness of the technology that we have access to. Is, even though that's something that you're accustomed to now, is it healthy?
No, I know it's not.
Right.
I know it's not.
I think that it stems a lot from us not being able, from one, getting lulled into the sense of that's what we need to do, and then getting addicted to it, and then not being able to set boundaries. And until we wake up and say,
boundaries for you, Apple.
Setting boundaries, but just really though, learning how to set yourself up to where you can be the healthiest you mentally.
They're not gonna like this.
They're not gonna like it. I know.
They're listening right now.
I know, but it's like for real. But you can do all of the stuff that you want to do, but set yourself up in a healthy way to do it. And I think that how it's set up right now and how technology is not necessarily always the healthiest.
No, it's not. Speaking of, well, I don't know if this goes under the boundary categories, but I'm pretty sure everybody's had this. Have y'all ever had a miscommunication through text, and then somebody got, because the original question was about communication, and I was just like, there's so many things with how you perceived it through text message versus if it was in person or over the phone. I'm like, no, I didn't say it like that. Why did you use a period or
all caps?
All caps.
Who uses all caps? Why you using all caps?
My aunt did. She used all caps, and her friend got mad at her. She's like, why are you using all caps?
I know one person that uses all emojis. Like, why are we
using
900
emojis? Ew, that's so gross.
All
that's
emojis.
So that's so gross.
That's so cringy.
Stop.
That's so gross.
If you're watching, stop.
That is so gross.
She knows.
But imagine, like, it's literally has ruined relationships.
Yeah.
All kinds of relationships, work relationships, friendships, romantic relationships.
The wrong word in the wrong spot
can
mean something completely different to the receiver. Completely different to the receiver.
No, I didn't mean it like that. Well, yes, you did. This is how I perceived it.
Yeah. And it's about perception. And it's not about what you sent. It's about how they perceived it.
Right.
I can't think of a specific example where like that's happened to me.
No, not a specific, but
it's happened.
It happened.
Yes, exactly. Do y'all feel like technology has physically impacted us, or is going to physically impact us?
My neck hurts all the time.
I don't like to say it. My hands.
Does it?
I was just about to say, text him. What's wrong with your hand?
Not now, but like
Like
I noticed
carpal
I hurt like hold my phone for like a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
it'll start to hurt. Mm-hmm.
So you do have a big phone. I was holding
Vision?
it. I was thinking that.
Vision with the screens.
Ooh, I have
Everybody
brightness
always
down.
get on me about my brightness and how big my font is. I'm like,
But I
is the
gotta
brightness
see
that
it.
gonna be exactly? Is that really a big
Though.
deal? And I already can't see, so like I need the brightness. Santel was complaining about my ring light. I need
So
it.
bright. I think I've been looking everywhere, but.
And my friends are like, take your brightness
I
out
don't
of
think
your
I've looked that
phone.
way since we started.
What way?
I keep looking at y'all.
Oh, you
instead
can't. The camera. Oh, I can't see. I thought you was looking at the camera. But
When you look back at it, you know.
I'm screaming. I had noticed that whenever we had first did it. I was like,
the camera,
facing
not
towards
just
you.
the screen. Because have you noticed when you take pictures, you gotta look at the actual
The-
camera.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
That's
be
how you
knowing.
get better eye contact.
But yeah, I don't like. Oh my god, this is really bad. Why does my hands hurt? This is crazy.
Yeah, it does affect us different things. My neck, from work. It's
Oh, and then I
always-
wonder if like people who be at work or home like typing like does their fingers ever hurt?
Mhm.
Yep.
Anything hurt you?
My neck and my shoulders.
Yeah, what we gonna do? This is
Crazy
crazy.
better.
Like, what are we gonna do? Well, I guess this could have been way early. I didn't know this question was at the bottom. Well, we already answered it. We already talked about the first song. How old? How far do y'all think technology? Well, I mean, you know, they always say, well, can't nothing get no worse, and then it get worse. I was gonna ask you, how far do y'all think technology's gonna go?
Terrified of AI.
Me too.
And I don't want to say I'm terrified of it,
That
but I'm like,
deep
I
fakes
feel like
and
it's gonna
stuff.
go.
Deep who?
Deep fakes. We didn't even talk
What's
about
that?
deep fakes. With the AI where you can make it
You can
anyone's
manipulate
face.
what they
You can
they
have
say.
Marilyn Monroe's
You
face
can take something somebody
Tupac
said in a
and their
video
voice.
and change
Oh,
what
like
said,
they was doing on
what they said.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deep fakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
or like a couple weeks ago, when people having them AI babies. I'm like, y'all are disgusting. And those racial
Not even
ambiguous
just that.
babies. Like, first of all, y'all babies
Yeah.
all look biracial, all look the same, smooth skin. I'm the same complexion. I'm the same baby hairs. Let's talk about it. Why those babies don't have African?
Why they weak?
Oh, did y'all know? I'm sorry. Did y'all know that AI is racist?
Oh yes.
And it doesn't recognize us.
I know it's not that. It's that it is biased because of how they make it. And like I said, the babies, these fake babies were racially ambiguous, like more leaning towards, Euro.
They're all gonna be
Centric.
Exactly. And then there was something else somebody had pointed out where it's going to be, the police technology robots, because of the studies, implemented for black people, they're going to assume.
Well, the internet has always been kind of sus with
Of
that
course,
stuff
of course.
too, because
I'm like,
I
dang,
believe-
technology racist too. You ain't got no brain. How you racist?
How
because
did
like
you do
we used to be
racist?
like when because it can be because the algorithms of how they set it up because we used to Google certain things
Yes.
like a criminal, and it would be the black people that would come up.
Yes.
Like on the internet, you just be like,
I remember when you
They don't-
looked
they
up
don't
White
commit- nobody
House
else commit.
or N-word house and then pop up Obama or like the way like
Wow.
there was people were like just vile with it. Like it's definitely some biases.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense. Whoever created it, we all have implicit biases. So
Yes, I do.
yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know how far. I think it's going to get to the point of iRobot.
Yeah, because
Oh,
they got
that's
Sophia.
evil. I know.
They really have Sophia. Like they have built.
Yeah, we just don't have access to that.
sex
yet.
toys, dolls,
Yes.
things that are realistic.
the police robots that are like, have you seen those? There's like
Probably
police
so.
robots.
Yeah, maybe those
Why
are
are
those
they
are
policing
racist.
us?
And soldier like robots.
Mhm.
That's
Google
literally
it.
giving.
Google it.
iRobot.
No, that's so
Google it.
dangerous. That's
It is
giving
very
they could
dangerous.
shoot you up. They could
Exactly.
do whatever they want.
Some world leader. His bodyguards are robots.
Well, there's
Like his
like
bodyguard, like
I'm not gonna lie. I would feel a little.
his
sick.
bodyguards are robots.
I'd be like, if anyone try me, they. Like I feel like for the.
If it was
And they
minister,
said that they were talking
unless
about
someone
how
hacked
all of the
it,
things
an
that the robot could do.
assassination, then they could turn it
And
on
they
you.
had
I've
like
seen that in
360. They had
movies.
360 ability to be able to
Mhm.
see, and the strength of it, and it was given a list of all of the things that was to the advantage of having a robot thing, and I was like, that's crazy.
we can talk about this off camera, but I want to know what. I feel like I'm talking about a movie, but what do y'all think could kill technology?
What is that?
No, so what
like
y'all think?
drones?
No, what do y'all think could kill technology?
Oh, could
like
kill
destroy it.
Literally, just someone shutting down the Wi-Fi for everything.
Y'all don't think
where
smashing
is
it?
Wi-Fi though?
Sweden.
Like you, as you said it, like where
It's in
is
Sweden?
Wi-Fi?
is
It
it?
has the
She said shut down Wi-Fi. I'm like, do you know where the
literally
switch
the
is?
satellites.
Do you
and
know
stuff.
where the nobody's shutting it down though. Who's shutting it down?
I'm saying.
They gonna stop you at the gate for shutting it
You know
down.
India just
Grace,
went,
I'm
did you know
serious.
India just went to the moon?
No, I did not
They
know
just
that.
India just landed on the moon.
Y'all
Like
like succeed.
yesterday.
It
It doesn't matter. They
That's cool.
they went
Did
to
we
a place
go?
where we didn't go, and they're up there now. They just
Because
landed.
why has no one else?
I don't know either.
That's another.
But I just feel like that's where it's gonna go. Oh, you had some questions to ask us. This right here.
How do y'all feel about parents relying on help?
Well,
With
With technology.
Okay, so I have complete opposite parents. My stepdad, he builds computers. Like, he know how to build a gaming computer. But my biological dad is country and
slow on the internet.
He
On
tells
the
me
computer.
to order stuff for him.
You didn't figure out Amazon?
She's
Amazon
like,
is
no.
so convenient.
To order stuff for him. And I taught him like a little week ago about Apple Pay.
Wow.
So convenient.
Okay. Where are we gonna go from here? Because because first of all, like I said, I don't like technology. He thinks I'm so tech savvy. I'm like, I don't even like technology, and you want me to order stuff for you?
Y'all are
It's not
supposed to
the
know.
same.
Y'all are supposed to know. You grew up with it. You're talking to people that didn't grow up with it, and I just expect y'all to know.
I actually just realized that saying it out
Especially
loud.
some IT.
Like,
But
she
I
don't know.
You know that phenomenon? You know how, like, in the back...
We used to have to set...
You fix the yellow cord, the red cord.
Oh, yes. That's it. That's all I know how to do.
You did that. I swear. They thought, wow, my baby knows how to make computers. No, I don't. Like,
But we used to have to set
I'm
the
not
time on VCRs for our parents. Y'all should
So,
know how to do the other
I
stuff
can't
for
do
us.
everything.
I don't understand.
Learn it.
Exactly.
You're in the same time.
Y'all learn.
It's
Y'all
a
grew
sign
up
of
with
the
it.
time.
No, we barely. Half of our childhood, we didn't. We didn't grow up with it. Like, half of our
These
childhood.
little pandemic babies, probably.
Yeah.
Them. Then you can
Them
ask.
just
Give
need
them
to
5
go.
years. Give them 5 years. They got you because they know.
Yeah. The little
I
pandemic
really just
babies, they
realized
really know
that
it.
saying it out loud, I have complete opposite, like, parents. Like, one,
You just realized it just-
yes, it just clicks. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I'm like, call him. Maybe y'all should talk.
Hey, help each other
Help each
out.
other out. That's it. Help each other out. Cause what? I don't know. Then you had this right here.
Do you think your generation allowed y'all to be exposed to technology?
What kind of
too
take
early?
from that?
Do you think that we allowed y'all to be exposed to technology too early?
Then we had this conversation on camera. Okay.
I think.
Oh, okay. I had like my.
She did talk a little bit about it because you said.
What's
how
my
I got my
Facebook?
Facebook.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, we.
Yeah,
So
we talked
We
about it.
kind of talk about it.
I wouldn't say. I mean, it could have been worse.
It could have.
Like now.
Like these kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you could Google anything. Because at least back then it was like if you type something in, it wouldn't like immediately pop up all of the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't seem like there's any like blockage.
Mm-hmm.
You could type the wrong thing in and get all kinds of
Everything.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no like stop.
Mm-hmm.
There's no stop.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's like being exposed. These kids are like just the body dysmorphia, all the different stuff, the bullying, the things that kids are learning. You can learn from like bad influences or someone who got that older sibling and they bring it back to school, but like because they're getting so good at it, they know how to hide very well from their parents. And that's really, really scary. Because I think of that phenomenon for real, being like a teacher or a camp counselor. The kids can be one way in front of you.
Kids
in
are
different
hilarious.
ways.
So my
are
friend's
funny.
son she said, "Where are you at?" So she wanted him to send her location. He sent her the screenshot of the location that he was at, and then the other sibling was like, "He got you because he's not there."
You could look up. You could
No.
If you take a picture somewhere, you can see the location where the picture was taken at now on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that now.
I said, wow.
And the time and all of that.
Wait, really? Where is he at?
I don't know, but it wasn't where he sent it.
That's funny.
And she didn't know until the other child said, "Hey,
That's
that's
not
not where he was at."
That's funny.
And they weren't anywhere that they really weren't supposed to be. He just was not trying to.
trying to.
Because why are you screenshotting us?
I don't know.
That's
And she was gonna go with it. She was like, "Oh,
Yeah, of course, of course. Hey, if you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. But I think that is all of the questions. This was a very long conversation. Great conversation. I love this conversation. It was different. Like I said, it was good. I love this topic, and I never thought it was how we came up with it. It was just like, it was very organic and needed something different. And
thank you, K-Rob, for having us.
you're welcome. I will
I
definitely
just
have y'all
so fun.
again. It's
And we'll
fun.
have you on
And we're
ours,
some
too.
we're some chatterboxes, and y'all know I love to talk. And I will see you guys next time. Hope y'all, that's personal, but I will see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.